police are under fire after freedom of information requests show that more than a quarter of firearms licences returned between 2019 and 2021 went to people who had faced allegations of domestic abuse. 41 of the 44 police forces in the UK that responded to a freedom of information request revealed that 164 firearms licences were returned between 2019 and 2021. Of those, 43 were given back to people who had been accused of domestic violence, although it is not known how many were later found guilty of an offence. The Freedom of Information request was put in after a man, 22-year-old Cheif Davison, who had a violent history, shot and killed 5 people in Plymouth shortly after police gave him his gun back. Farah Nazir, the women's aid charity chief executive, said the figures showed an inexcusable tolerance of abusers and that there was countless instances of people shrugging off domestic abuse as a less serious offence. Ms Nazir said this needed to be investigated by police and the government and called for an automatic ban on returning gun licences to those accused of domestic abuse. Would society accept guns being put back in the hands of burglars or muggers, she says, in case of domestic abuse? More often than not, the perpetrator lives in the same residence as the survivor. Even if the perpetrator hasn't ever used a gun against their partner, just possessing the weapon, its presence in the house, is a form of intimidation and control. Of the 164 returned licences, police forces say that individuals either did not meet the threshold for prosecution, or, if they were charged, the charges were later dropped. Information reveals that Cheif Davison's shotgun was seized and his licence was revoked following concerns being raised over an assault on 2 youths in September 2020. However, the licence and gun were returned to him in July 2021 after a review by Devon and Cornwall Police. Davison is said to have posted videos online before the shooting in which he spoke of struggling to meet women who made references to incels, the misogynistic online groups of involuntary celibate men who often blame women for their sexual failings. A National Police Chiefs Council spokesman said any individual who held a firearms licence, which was then revoked, would need to reapply for a new licence. Applicants should be fully aware that the reasons a licence was revoked are recorded and are considered as part of any new application. The legal process for anyone seeking a new licence is explicitly defined, and domestic abuse is one of the most serious factors taken into consideration in assessing an application. Of course it was. That's why Davison was given his gun and licence back. The Metropolitan Police, the UK's largest police force, covering a population of around 9 million people, is said to have returned 15 gun licences that they had previously revoked during 2020 and 2021. Metropolitan Police said 6 of these were returned because the licence holder successfully appealed their original decision to revoke in court. The Plymouth shooting led to some changes in the law introduced in November. Now, all gun licence applications must be accompanied by a medical document signed by a practising doctor. The applicant's social media, financial history and any domestic violence history is also to be reviewed. Now, what I don't get is why a medical document signed by a practising doctor wasn't in there in the first place. It seems a bit silly that that wasn't part of the original conditions to owning a gun. And as for, I can understand in a way the applicant's social media and domestic violence history being reviewed, although social media not as much as domestic violence history, because sometimes we just share things because they're funny, or we think that they're funny. Other people might not find them so funny. And the financial history, I don't see what a financial history has got to do with anything when it comes to domestic violence, domestic abuse, using a weapon on your loved one. I mean, personally, I'm skint as fuck. Even if I had a weapon, I wouldn't go out robbing people or banks or building societies. So again, I think it should be down to domestic violence history, criminal record, and a medical document from a practising doctor to say that you are physically and mentally well enough to own a weapon. But what do I know? Big thank you to channel supporters, especially these guys. Your support is truly appreciated. Don't forget to like, share, comment and subscribe. Let me know your thoughts, as I know many of you will. And until next time, stay safe, look after each other, film the police and other officials.